Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Shaka Hislop, Frank, who's not wearing his fake glasses, Gab Marcotti, and also Don Hutchison. Where's those fake glasses, Frank?
He's gone for the old Sean Connery look today, Frank.
I lost. That's crazy, but I lost my two real glasses, so I had to go to the pharmacy and I bought like for 10 euros fake glasses. So I see a little bit like that, but there I don't see you anymore. You look beautiful.
More importantly, Shaka, did you complete Wordle today?
I did. I got it in 2.
I haven't done it yet. Don't be giving us any spoilers.
I won't. I sure won't.
All right, first question is for you, Gab. Are you grateful for the World Cup becoming 48 teams? Italy might qualify that way.
Too soon! Too soon!
Oh, that's
That's
not
too
nice.
soon, Ezio. Oh.
It does have hedonist in the title, so...
Listen, I'm just going to refer you to the scoreboard, to those 4 stars on the Italy shirt, and remind you that there's only one country in the universe that has more stars. And there's a reason why Italy has those 4 stars. We've won 4 World Cups. You know what? It's time to let somebody else have a go. Some of those little nations that, have only won 1 or none. There's so many out there. They all love their football. Talk to me once any other country gets the 3 World Cups. Then we'll have a conversation.
Tacky. That's very tacky. Some people live in the past. We can see that. Some people love living in the past. That's very tacky, Mr. Marcotti. For some others.
I like how Gab says,
Frank,
there's only one other country in the whole universe.
I think you'll find... Excuse me, Mr. Frank Leboeuf, live in the present. I think you'll find that in this millennium, Italy and France have won the same number of European championships and the same number of World Cups, no?
No, you won more World Cup than we did. But I know that for the last 6 World Cup,
in this millennium,
France
since 2000.
It's this millennium. Oh yeah, yes, true. You're right.
Okay, thank you.
But
Thank you.
for the past 6 World Cup, hold on, 98, 2002, 2006, 6 World Cup. France play 3 finals.
Well, that's
Right.
good. You must be
Here's
very
another-
Let's
proud
kick
of that.
Emanuele's down, shall we?
Here's another stat. Here's another good stat. In the last 2 World Cup cycles, Trinidad and Tobago and Italy have failed to qualify in the same number of World Cups.
There you
That's
go.
a very good stat, and that's a true one.
That's got to make you feel a bit better, Gab. All right, for Frank, how does it feel getting knocked out when everyone in the world thinks you're going through? What was it like in the dressing room and when you got back to France after the last game of the group stages of the 2002 World Cup?
Oh, man.
That was amazing. I came back to my place, and I remember having a breakfast while some games will go at night, and it was like, I say to my ex-wife, I say, did I go to the World Cup? Did we go to the World Cup? It's like I just lived a nightmare, and it's like I didn't see the World Cup coming up. That was crazy. That was shameful. That was awful. But let's say that we won everything in 3 years. So the 4th years was the end of the cycle. Bye-bye. That's what it is for Italy. So when it doesn't want to go right, it doesn't go right. All the game that they played, missed the penalty, missed the goal, and kicked out. It's what happened to us in 2002. The luck that you have, the stamina that you feel and you have, you don't have it. You lose it, and it's part of the game. And you are kicked out.
Gab, another one for you.
Everybody's
Can I just
picking
say,
on Gab today.
Can I just say that, to be fair to Frank, right? He's talking about how painful it was and it was the end of a cycle. There was a cycle in which they won a World Cup and the Euros. I am praying that Italy's cycle didn't simply consist of the COVID Euros in 2001 and that's it. Sorry, 2021. So I hope you're wrong about this being the end of a cycle for Italy because it's a really teeny tiny cycle.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Gab, the next question is to do with Italy's failures. For Gab, 15-year-olds now have only seen Italy win one World Cup game in 2014 in their lifetimes. And they will not have a chance to see a second until they are 19. How do kids there see the national team?
Can I say something about these goofy ass stats like, oh, look, I haven't played in a knockout game until 2006. Who the hell thinks like that? Seriously, England didn't lose a single knockout game, didn't lose a single game at the World Cup in the 1970s. Why? Because they didn't qualify. Oh, look, I'm going to love. Can I turn it around? Can I turn it around and say, oh, look, when Italy goes into the next World Cup, whenever that is, they can say, look, we haven't lost a World Cup game since 2014. What kind of stupid stats are these? It doesn't matter if you lose a World Cup group stage win. You can go on and win the World Cup while losing a group. We've seen it happen with Spain. So enough of these goofy statistics. The point is to qualify for a World Cup, and then when you're there, to reach your level. So for Italy, any World Cup in which they don't at least reach a semifinal is a failure. Not qualifying for the World Cup is a horrendous failure. These weird stats, they haven't lost, blah, blah, blah. Like in 2010, they drew all the group games. Oh, they couldn't win a group game. Well, they didn't lose a group game in 2010. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Isn't that close? I mean, what kind of nonsense is this? Seriously.
The best thing, Shaka, the best thing about it is how well Gab's taken.
I love wound-up Gab. Okay, do me a favor. Read some other goofy stat, please.
Okay.
Please give Gab another goofy stat.
Gab could wade in on this one, but I feel as though Don might have something to say about it, so I'll start with you, Don. Italy was exposed without their saviours from Juventus.
Ooh.
No Bonucci, no Chiellini, no Bernardeschi, no Chiesa, no Locatelli, no World Cup. Never forget, Juventus is the biggest club in Italy.
No, I'm not going to get involved in that, Gab.
Yeah, leave that for
Gab
Gab.
knows far more about Italian football than I do for me to say who the biggest club in Italy is, but it's not a bad point though, is it? When you take all those players away.
Gab, is that goofy?
Well, it's completely goofy. So, Bernardeschi wasn't selected, partly because he's not been good. Locatelli only just recovered from COVID. Bonucci's injured. Chiesa's been injured. You know, look, Chiesa and Spinazzola are out. Would Italy have been a lot better with those people? Yes, absolutely. But can it be an excuse? No, it's not an excuse. Same thing with all these Juve guys. Juve are fourth in the table this year. Juve are not having a good season. Juve got knocked out by Villarreal. Yeah, Juve have that long unbeaten streak, which, by the way, Don, it's 19 games, I think, not 11.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But so what?
Don.
They've been rubbish throughout. They've been drawing a bunch of games. So, no, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference at all. It shouldn't take the Juve guys to win it anyway, even if they were all playing well. This was Macedonia that Italy just lost to. So, no, there's no excuses.
It's not even whole Macedonia, it's only the north.
And I'm calm.
Hey, you know what? You actually got schooled there as well, Don, for arguing that Juve should be in Shaka's power rankings. Gab just told you the run's not that great. Not as good as it looks. It's better than what you said, though, and they are fourth, remember.
I know, that's what I said. I said fourth, but I mean, Gab put me right by saying 19, so they should be in the power rankings.
They're 11.
11. All right. This one has to come to you, Don, because you were on the call for Portugal's game against Turkey. Do Portugal really need Ronaldo? They don't seem like a team that needs to be carried. Currently, it's vice versa. Portugal carries someone instead of someone leading Portugal to victory. Lol.
See, here's the thing, Kay, right? And I could never, ever say it in commentary, and I don't really want to say it on here because I would never, ever try and disrespect Ronaldo. But Father Time catches up to every single footballer. And Ronaldo, I have to say, was brilliant tonight for 45 minutes. His touches, his vision, the execution of the little back heels and his one-touch passing was brilliant, but he faded in the game. So I was looking at Santos, the coach, at about the hour mark, and he was deep in conversation with his number 2, and they were just fading in the game. And it was one of those where you go, a little bit like Ralph Rangnick at Man United, have you got the power and have you got the audacity to take Ronaldo off on the hour mark when you know he's going to go absolutely ballistic? And the answer was no, he didn't, and he left him on. And that's probably why they struggled a little bit, because there was a point in the game where they were carrying him because his legs were just starting to fade. They didn't take him off. They didn't do the right thing. In the end, they got the job done. But I understand the question. It's a very, very hard one.
Gab, are you laughing at what Don's just said?
Yeah, no. It's funny. Look, I'm drawing a parallel here, which maybe is entirely apt. But can you imagine if you're Fernando Santos and you substitute Ronaldo at minute 60 in what could be literally his last World Cup qualifying game, and then they come back and lose? This would be shades of, who was it? I don't want to bring back memories for you, Kay, but and you were probably a child back then, but I remember Gary Lineker being substituted, I think was it by Graham Taylor against Poland, when he was like on the verge of breaking some scoring record, and then they go out, they don't qualify for the World Cup. Anybody remember this? It's the same thing. There's no way Fernando Santos is going to do that.
Oh, but you've got to do the right thing for the team, Gab. It doesn't matter if you substitute Jota, João Felix or Ronaldo. If you've got to do what you've got to do, because no one's got a crystal ball, if you feel as though that's the right thing to do for the team, then you have to do it as a coach, no?
It's Cristiano Ronaldo you're talking about. You're Portuguese.
What's that mean?
Nobody would know who Fernando Santos is if it were not for Cristiano Ronaldo. So, no, I don't. I mean, I think what you're talking about is you're always going to believe in the stardust, in the fact that maybe if Turkey back into it, maybe maybe Cristiano does something at the end. I mean, I take your point, balance, tactical, blah, 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 the running, but the man is only human. It would take somebody superhuman or somebody completely callous and reptilian to substitute Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, in a game like this, unless you're 4 or 5 goals up.
So you're saying Ronaldo can never, ever be taken off for Portugal? Ever?
Not in a do-or-die game when they're less than 3 or 4 goals up. No, I don't. Like, I think a lot of people might say, oh, yeah, I'd take him off. But in real life, very, very few people would.
Yeah.
It's too big an ask for Fernando Santos, I think.
If I may, going into that conversation, you only have to be a fan of Ronaldo, and I've been hammered by the fans when I say that sometimes you have to think about retiring, where I never thought about Ronaldo having to retire right now, but it's part of your career to exactly know where you have to stop, because it's part of your career. So I saw the game today. I saw that after an hour, Ronaldo was struggling physically, and it would have been a surprise for me to see him going out. If you understand football, if you love Portugal and you are a fan of Portugal, you have to understand that it's for the good of the team that Ronaldo is going out, because evidently you can see that he's not anymore in a good shape after an hour in that game, particularly in that game. So you have to have the guts of putting him out because of what everybody sees. It's only when you're a fan and you're completely blinded by the love that you have for Ronaldo that you couldn't see that it's more dangerous to keep Ronaldo on the field than to substitute him. That's just fair for the team and fair for the country.
Can I just address this? I'm just going to put this differently, right? Think of it in terms of risk-reward. If Cristiano Ronaldo wants, this is all assuming Cristiano wants to stay on the pitch, right? If he stays on the pitch and he doesn't run anymore and you lose and Portugal get knocked out, nobody is going to blame you. Nobody in Portugal, which is where Fernando Santos lives, is going to blame you for not taking Cristiano off the pitch against his will. But if you do substitute him and something goes wrong, then you're going to be massacred. And if you substitute him and you win and Cristiano felt that he was doing great and he didn't want to come off, he's going to be annoyed with you. So you look at those outcomes, like I said, it's a no-brainer for Fernando Santos, for who he is. For somebody else, speaking in abstract terms, sure, I completely agree with you.
All right. Are we?
Well,
Are we?
No. Disagree.
Well, no, the thing
Totally
is just one thing. The thing is, we are doing
This is
politics.
extra time of extra time.
Or we are doing politics, or we are doing football. And in football, you take risks. In politics, you manage.
All right. Shaka.
Yeah?
Let's say Wales qualify for the World Cup. If you're Gareth Bale, what's your next career move? Back to Spurs, MLS, back to Wales with Cardiff, Swansea, or another championship side?
As I said on the show, I don't think he was that great for Spurs when he came back, or certainly nowhere near as good, and I know he struggled with injuries then. And here's the difficulty with this question. Nobody can figure Gareth Bale out. Nobody knows what's going through that mind of his. And you just look at his performance for Wales and contrast that with his performances for Real Madrid. So the easy answer is just go back and play for Cardiff or Swansea or somebody, and you're in Wales and you're happy. You've got enough money, but you know that doesn't really make any sense for somebody of his talents. The only attraction there is that he's back on Welsh soil. But who takes that chance? And what is he asking for in terms of salary? Who takes that chance but for a Welsh club to bring him back? It's just... Anybody else, I think it would be a little more straightforward, and you can make an answer and try to figure out what they're thinking. But nobody's been able to figure Gareth Bale out, and that's the issue.
Don, percentage chance of North Macedonia qualifying for the World Cup?
10.
Wow. So you give them a 1 in 10 chance to beat Portugal.
10% beating Portugal.
1 in 9. Well, 1 to 9.
If you push me, 5.
If we push you back.
4.
Oh my God. Is that pushing you? Back?
Sign off now before it gets down to 0.
All right.
4. I'm not going lower than 4.
All right. Let's see what you say about the next one. It's for you, Don. How do you feel about Pogba blaming his inconsistent form on being played in the wrong position? I'm just asking, since you once said you could play anywhere on the field and still be capable of scoring from the halfway line.
Hold on. I've seen Don playing goal. So to suggest that Don could play anywhere on the field, it's a little bit of a stretch.
Listen, Paul knows his own body. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. I don't really buy it, to be honest, Kate. I wouldn't blame your inconsistencies on the amount of time he's had at Man United to produce the standard in the consistencies of his levels and his ability. He's got more ability than most players could ever dream of. But you look at his Man United career, in my humble opinion, and he leaves me wanting so much more.
All right, Shaka. In a training session, do you practice your hand position in such a way that your save will fall in a safe place and a fellow defender can clear it, or is it just a lottery/luck?
Well, you don't position it so that it falls for a defender. If you're parrying it, you try to get power on it. In that, if it doesn't hit anybody, it goes a long way out and it falls harmlessly wherever it does. And if it does go towards a striker, it's coming at him so quickly that he can't adjust. That's the hope. But you don't practice spilling the ball into the path of a defender.
So when it does fall out nicely for one of your defenders to clear it, it is just lottery/luck.
No, well, it depends on when you ask me. If you ask me right after the game, I say I saw him there. I saw Frank standing there, so I just parried it nicely for Frank, which will be a lie, but that's what I'm claiming.
All right, Gab, we've got
one.
one.
I would say that I called him just before.
Exactly. Yes. Both of them lies, but we'll stick to it.
As fake as your glasses, Frank. All right, Gab. One last goofy one for you.
Yes! Yes!
Gab, will you be ordering a well-done steak with pineapple on top over a bed of SpaghettiOs tonight to forget this loss? Because surely nothing could be worse.
Why these SpaghettiOs? Why SpaghettiOs?
You know
no!
Can I point this
Leave
out?
the place, Gab. Leave the
If a
place.
genie had come out of a bottle and said, Gab, if you eat this well-done steak that Alejandro Moreno cooked for you, and you have it with the pineapple pizza, with some crappy canned pineapple, which Moreno grew in his back garden and then stuffed in a can for 10 years. Then, if you do this, then Italy will qualify for the World Cup. You know what I would have done? I would have said, no. I have higher standards, and I don't need to do this to qualify for the World Cup. That's some fugazi stuff. I don't need to do that.
Do we believe him?
No.
I do.
All right, Gab.
Because he's that he's that confident that, yeah, we're going to beat North Macedonia.
Let me ask then, would you have rather lost to North Macedonia in the semis or Portugal in the final?
Oh, easy.
Ooh. You know what? I think in some ways, and like it's gonna sound trite, I care about the performance. And I actually think that I don't think they would have had this much of the ball. They would have had this many chances against Portugal. They might still have beaten Portugal, but they would have done it a completely different way. So if you're gonna lose either way, I don't know. I'd rather lose here than lose in the final. Give you more time to digest it, and and this way I can sit back and enjoy next Tuesday's games. So much at stake in these playoffs, final and CAF and whatever. And the following day, I'm flying out to Doha after I record the Gab and Jules show, and I can go and I can enjoy another World Cup as a neutral, which is a special experience.
Well, at least it's something to digest, because he's not going to be digesting a well-done steak.
He's fibbing,
Did that
isn't he?
just slip in that he's flying out to Doha for the Gab and Jules show? Did he just slip that in there without anybody noticing?
No, we're taping the
that
Gab
start
and Jules
happening?
show in London, and then I'm going to the draw.
Oh, I thought you said you were going out to Doha to I thought.
Because Shaka and I were starting to feel really left out.
That's
today.
right.
Everyone was in Madrid. Now
Everybody's
you're flying
here,
off to
there,
Doha.
everywhere.
We're just here in the studio, keeping this.
I'll be keeping my eye
You
on
have
you and
to,
Jules.
you always have to know what you're worth, guys. If you are staying in the studio while everybody is traveling, it says a lot about you guys. You have to talk to
very
your
true.
superiors, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it says about us.
That's
I don't know
very-
if that's a backhanded compliment.
That's
or
very
it's
true.
an
Fake
insult.
glasses, man.
Yeah.
I was going to
well,
say, Frank with his £10 glasses on.
I know.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah,
to stop
you
in
know.
case there are any more goofy ass questions that Gab doesn't like. And we need Gab
Oh
to go.
yeah, the guy's
cry
upset
into
and
his
touchy
pillow
now.
tonight.
Well,
Thanks so much
Yeah.
for being with us. Thanks for your questions. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.